Hey Spirit Tribe, Gigi here with Spirit Readings, and I'm so glad and so happy that you're able to join me here today. This is going to be a you versus them reading, so it is a love reading. So coming from the divine feminine and the divine masculine, so there will be a you row and a them row. Of course, you can always flop them around if you're like, you know what, the them side seems to fit me more than the you side. That is perfectly okay. You know, there aren't really that many rules here, you guys. So please keep in mind that there are so many of us, so not everything may resonate, and that's perfectly okay. You can just set it to the side for someone else or for later even. You know, it may make more sense as events continue to unfold. Anything and everything is possible when we believe. So if it doesn't apply, you just go on ahead and you let her fly. No harm, no foul, no big deal. And this is a timeless reading, so it is good for whenever you happen to come across it. So keep that in mind as well. And if you are new here, please keep in mind that I have had strokes, so you know that can really affect my memory. I can struggle to find my words or even get them out. I do get tongue-tied. I also have tremors, which can make shuffling a bit of a challenge, especially when it feels like I'm being zapped in my hands. You know, whenever that happens, I tend to drop whatever I'm holding, cards included. I also have glaucoma, so sometimes I do have to bring the cards a little closer to my face so that I can see them properly. So, you know, it's okay, you guys. You know, the messages do get out the way that they are meant to eventually, right? Okay. Everything that you need to know about me, about this channel, you can find that in the description down below, especially if you would like to book a personal private reading with me, if you would like to purchase something from my wish list, like a card deck or a candle, something for my household, something for my fur babies, or if you would just like to make a donation, that can all be found in that description box down below. So make sure you check that out. All right, you versus them, divine masculine, divine feminine, and you know, we all have both within our own selves here, you guys. So all right, let's see your thoughts versus their thoughts about the current situation. We have for you, we have the Page of Pentacles coming through for your thoughts about the current situation, and their thoughts are the Five of Swords. So they're kind of not having the same reaction here, right? So the Page of Pentacles, you know, this is you're like, you know what, I am manifesting my dreams. I manifested this situation how it is currently. This is the person that I told the universe I wanted. You know, I'm reaching my goals, I'm obtaining comfort and success, and you know, I'm enjoying my surroundings and the current situation. I'm confident that my enthusiasm for learning are going to bring me more prosperity. And you know, you may be a little more focused on your money right now. You're like, you know what, I don't always have control because of free will of what other people do, you know, but my finances, you know, I do have more control over that, more say so. So you could just be a little more focused on that. Now, their thoughts and feelings of the current situation is this Five of Swords. So, you know, they may not have totally healed from a past relationship, or if this is your second time, you know, coming together. There are so many of us, so the possibilities are literally endless. And, you know, with you being so focused on money, you know, they could feel betrayed, or, you know, they could feel like someone has cheated them or used an unfair advantage that they had over them to win. You know, they're learning that we must look out for ourselves and try to claim what is rightfully ours, yet hurting others in our own self-interest will lead to a shallow victory. So, you know, they could be learning, you know, hey, you're not the ghost of the person from the past who did me wrong, who did me dirty, but sometimes, you know, they may treat you that way, if that makes sense. So, you know, because the person here has been stabbed in the back multiple times, and the person that did it is running away with 3 more swords. So it's like, you know, I can still do more damage, right? And even though they seem very pleased with their victory, they are still pausing to look back. So, you know, sometimes we just don't know what the cost is, you know, to someone else who thinks, oh, I got the upper hand. You know, sometimes people push people away. You know, they break their own heart, they hurt their own feelings before another person even gets the chance or opportunity to do it. So, you know, you could be this be in this energy if you're like, nope, I'm on the flip side, or you could be dealing with someone who may still have a little bit of a broken wing. All right, let's get some more here. Let's see what your feelings on the situation are versus their feelings on the situation here. All right, you have the Page of Wands, lots of pages coming out here. And then we have the Knight of Cups with the Knight of Swords. They came out together here. So, you know, pages and knights are young energy. They haven't reached the king and queen status yet. So we're still growing. We're still learning. And the Page of Wands, because, you know, pages are considered messengers and knights are about movement. So we have the Page of Wands. So, you know, your feelings, you're creative, you know, you think outside of the box and you look upon new ventures and ideas with enthusiasm, and, you know, you spend your time doing the things that you love. And so, you know, kind of like with your thoughts, your feelings are like, well, I don't have much control over what other people think or feel, say, or do. So maybe you're a little more focused on yourself here still. And, you know, but with this focus, you can develop your creative vision. So to me, it kind of feels like if you are in this you're not as focused on your partner, or kind of like, okay, fine, if it happens, great, and if it doesn't, that's great too. I'm gonna be okay. And, you know, as a single Pringle, I can do what I want, and I really like that. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, you guys. It's totally okay to, you know, maybe you're like, you know what, I am content and fulfilled just as I am. I don't need another person to complete me or make me feel whole. I feel that way, you know, just by being my true, authentic self. All right, and now we have the Knight of Cups with the Knight of Swords to represent their feelings about the situation. Now, your feelings may be known or unknown from your partner. So, boy, I'm someone, I wear my heart and everything on my sleeves, so people tend to know exactly what I'm thinking and feeling. So the Knight of Cups is literally the knight in shining armor, you know. They want to sweep a person off their feet, you know, but they can be ruled by their heart and fickle with their emotions. So, you know, and it could be due to this heartbreak, you know, feeling betrayed up ahead. And, you know, they're poetic, they're passionate, a romantic dreamer, but they can also be temperamental, overly sensitive, and prone to fantasy. So, you know, they enjoy the sweeping of, you know, sweeping them off their feet, but may not know how to follow through once they've done it, right? And then we have the Knight of Swords coming in here as well. You know, they could be forceful in their action. You know, they have a lot of unyielding energy. They can be aggressive. They can be overbearing, yet they're still charismatic, truthful, and intelligent. And, you know, they're looking for battle. They're ready for it, even when there's no opposition in sight. So, you know, they may not always know how to pick and choose their battles. And, you know, because the Knights are young energy, they tend to blame everyone else and not take any of the responsibilities. So maybe you're out like, yes, that is definitely the person I am dealing with here. All right, let's see what your behavior looks like versus their behavior, and you know how each of you are responding outwardly towards the situation. We have the King of Swords coming through, and the Emperor. Oh my, two powerhouses here, and you know, both a divine masculine energy here. So your behavior is this King of Swords. So you know, the King of Swords is calm and powerful, and he prefers to use his intellect over, you know, flamboyant displays of emotions. You know, he's in control of his thoughts and his emotions, grounded, centered, stable. He can be stern, but he's also just. He's truthful and decisive, and you know, he's just calm. He's like, you know what, I got my sword of truth. I can cut through any lies, any BS that you try to shoot my way. I ain't falling for none of that. So don't even try to lie to me, right? And then for them, they have the Emperor. So Emperor is the energy of Aries coming through. So, you know, he's the ultimate guardian and patriarch. So he's very protective, you guys, and authoritative. But, you know, sometimes it can go to extremes, you know, where it's like, hey, you know, you don't actually rule me. You know, I can feel like two strong powerhouses butting heads, and you know, having to find a balance and a harmony, and you know, because there's power, there's dominance, but you know, the Emperor has his own vision of how things should be, and you know, he definitely wants to protect his domain. And when you fall underneath that, he's just automatically like, this person needs, you know, my wisdom, needs my protection, needs my guidance, even when that may not always be the case. Now, we're going to see what's currently going on in this situation, whether it's a conflict, a decision that needs to be made, or a desired outcome. So let's see what's going on between We do have the Ace of Wands coming through, and the Seven of Wands coming through here. So, all right. You know, aces are all about new beginnings and new opportunities being made available to us. Wands is fire. Fire is the power of taking action. And, you know, when you got two very strong dominating, you know, energies here, so maybe you have to get creative. You know, you already had that with the Page of Wands. Maybe you're the one that's like, you know what, let's find a happy medium, let's compromise where we can. You know, opportunity, inspiration, ambition, and potential. So there's a lot of potential here for this relationship to work out, you know. You're going towards your goals with enthusiasm and confidence, and that's very attractive. And you know, it's time to harness this creative energy so you can keep moving forward, putting your fears and you know, the past aside, so that you can cultivate this dream together. Part of the teamwork that makes the dream work, you guys. And then we have the Seven of Wands, which does deal with conflict, you know, up there as well, especially when one person may still be healing. And you know, conflict, struggle, and maybe you feel like, each of you can feel like, well, the deck is stacked against me, you know, things just don't seem to be going well, the other person is on the defensive, you know, and you can handle it though, you guys. You know, yes, shield and protect yourself. You know, you don't have to take a bunch of garbage. You can cut through the lies and the BS. And you know, even though you can be outnumbered, even though you can be caught off guard sometimes, you still have the upper hand because you're flying around on this winged dragon. But you know, sometimes we have to learn, you know, like I said, to really pick and choose our battles, and that can be easier said than done sometimes. So let's get some Lovers Oracle messages here. Let's see what else we need to know here. We have reflection. Give each other some space at the moment, you know, and knowing, you know, learning that just because someone wants space doesn't mean they're saying it's over, it's done. You know, sometimes space is just space, and it gives you both an opportunity to see things from another point of view, or to calm down, you know, whatever the case may be. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best here, you guys. So you know, sometimes people have abandonment issues, and you know, especially when you've been done dirty, you know. And we have wait. Don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. So you know, you really have to you know, because in the beginning, when it's fresh and it's new and people are like, oh, you know, you put your best foot forward, and you don't always show your scars in the very beginning, right? So, I mean, it happens, right? Of course it does. Let's get an Island Time Wellness Love Oracle. Let's see what else you need to know here. We have Girl with a Snake, empath and narcissist paradigm. So, you know, that could be the case there, where one's an empath, one is a narcissist and took advantage. Being charmed or used, I mean, that came through with that Knight of Cups. And you need to enable boundaries. You've got to have your strong, healthy boundaries in place here, you guys. You know, you don't have to take lies. You don't have to take BS from another person. Even when you love them with all of your heart, it doesn't mean that you have to just keep accepting garbage from them, right? All right, let's get a chakra love message here. Let's see what else we need to know. You know, sometimes you really do have to throw the whole person away, you know, I mean, especially like this, you guys. So, and someone that just wants to, you know, go from new thing to new thing, sweep people off their feet, and not really like, oh, now I have you, what do I do with you, you know, that sort of thing. All right, we have solar plexus chakra, rutilated quartz for confidence. Not the first time confidence has come up. No one will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Be your own cheerleader. And like I'm saying here for the you column, I feel like you're very independent, you're very strong, and like, okay, if a relationship happens, great, and if it doesn't, that's great too. I got me. Well, over here it kind of feels like they need to have a person, whether they're really in love with that person, whether they really want that person or not. They may just attach on. I'm trying to think what that's called. And the word is escaping me, but you know those people where they always have to have someone, they never really truly work on themselves. And so, you know, I feel like that could be the case. Someone is trying to maybe latch onto you, and you're just like, you know what? No, thank you. I want someone that's an added blessing in my life, you know, so I'm going to put my strong, healthy boundaries in place, and I'm not rushing into anything. You know, I really have to see you for who you really and truly are. You know, no one wants to get their heart broken, right? All right, Spirit Tribe, I hope you enjoyed these messages. If you did, please drop me a comment down below. Let me know. Make sure you smash the heck out of that like button, that old thumbs up button down there. Hit it with the razzle dazzle. If you haven't already and you find you keep coming back here, please subscribe to the channel, you guys. That truly means so very much to me. I love growth. I love expansion. I love being able to interact with all of you. It really does bring a lot of joy into my life. You know, you are part of the teamwork that makes this dream work. I wouldn't be able to do it without all of you. So from the bottom of my heart, I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. And I want to say thank you. Blessed be. Namaste and goodbye.